Come see us on tour in Dallas, Austin, Baltimore, Hartford, Connecticut, Syracuse, New York, Atlantic City, Levittown, Cohoes, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for the link for the cheapest tickets. So the word on the street is that Fauci still, even though he got a pardon, he might get prosecuted on the state level because the pardon was not for the federal level. South Carolina AG Wilson is coming for Anthony Fauci. Even Biden's pardon won't save him. So what's going on? Alan Wilson leading a coalition of, so he's the South Carolina attorney general or state's attorney, and he's leading an investigation of a bunch of attorney generals, state attorney generals, investigation into Dr. Fauci.
Yay.
Let's watch.
Alan Wilson says he is leading a coalition of state attorneys general in an investigation into Dr. Anthony Fauci's role in the COVID-19 pandemic response. Wilson is alleging that Dr. Fauci mismanaged the pandemic, made misleading statements, and suppressed scientific debate. Dr. Fauci has repeatedly denied any allegations of wrongdoing, calling them absolutely false, and preposterous.
And remember, whenever the accused claims that the charges against him are preposterous, that translates into, oh shit, they found out. Because it looks like Tony Two Masks might wind up in the big yard after all. State laws are awaiting him, just like Elliot Ness busting Capone for tax evasion.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I think he looks pretty confident because, let's face it, we already know all his crimes. So, are you going to look into it, are you?
Well, I like how he says his and the news still won't tell you what his crimes were. But if Fauci thinks this is ridiculous. You mean an investigation into COVID and what you did? What are you going to do? Watch old Jimmy Dore clips? Read RFK's book with all his crimes delineated in it? The investigation's already been done, bro. Just arrest him. Use the fancy terrorist laws.
Yeah. Hold him with no trial or charges. I thought we had these terror laws for a reason. We can't capture a bioterrorist and do this? We killed an American citizen in another country, didn't we?
Yep.
With drones. We don't have drones for terrorists like this?
Here's one congressman who's a doctor giving it to him.
Believed an institutional should make it hard for people to live their lives.
So remember when Dr. Fauci wanted to make it hard for you to live your life so you would be forced to get the vaccine? What? Remember this?
So they'd feel pressured to get vaccinated. Could we run the audio clip on that, please?
And here's an audio clip of someone recording Fauci saying this thing.
You think can be done about it? I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you are going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady, you're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit and they get vaccinated.
Are all objections to COVID vaccinations ideological bullshit, Dr. Fauci?
No, they're not, and
Thank
that's
you.
not what I was referring to.
Well, in reference to making it hard for people to get education, traveling, working, I'd say it very much was in context. That's exactly what you meant when you said making it hard for people to live without getting a vaccination. You affected people's ability to work, travel, be educated, to actually flourish in American society, to self-determine, as we're all given God-given rights. Shame on you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, shame doesn't work on him.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, buddy, cut it short. He don't care. Look at his face.
The guy's got he's got more fans than scruples. Okay, and he's losing fans right now, like if he was a Kansas City Chief. By the way, is there a tip or a hotline that I can send the countless hours of footage of Fauci lying?
Yeah,
because I've got them.
To save money on this investigation. It's been done for how many years now?
Yeah.
20?
No kidding, right?
Like, that's why I don't buy this. I'm like, okay, this guy's been a Joseph Mengele rampaging across America for 20 years. Nothing happened. So unless you got some undercover, like white hat branch of CIA, it's going to do something. Nothing's going to happen.
And now that Fauci is not the head of the NIAIDOIU, guess what he's saying now? Watch this.
Fauci says COVID-19 and influenza vaccines don't work well and calls for improved shots.
A startling bit of news.
You sent that over to me, and I was looking, Babylon Bee, something like this. No, it's actually true. It's a new paper that he wrote with a couple of colleagues from the CDC in a magazine. I'm sure you have a subscription, Cell Host and Microbe magazine. But all joking aside, this is what he actually said. If we can do the next one. Vaccines against both COVID-19 and influenza have, quote, deficiencies, including that they elicit incomplete and short-lived protection against evolving virus variants that escape population immunity. Fauci, until recently, President Biden's chief medical advisor and top National Institute of Health official, wrote in a recent paper. But if you'll put this next one up, Dr. Paul, unfortunately, instead of saying that, that we really messed this one up, no, the paper is called Rethinking Next Generation Vaccines for Coronaviruses, Influenza Viruses, and Other Respiratory Viruses. We messed up, but we're going to keep doing it.
That's true. They want to manufacture the enemy, then they can treat it, and there's evidence that that's exactly what they were doing. But when I read this, superficially, it could be interpreted, well, they don't work well, and he calls for improved shots. Well, maybe he has in his mind that we can convince the people that, well, yes, we messed up, but those vaccines, they weren't the right thing. But we have the right thing now. Yeah. Get back in line. Yeah. I don't think that's going to work. I mean, the people sometimes are so complacent and they just follow and think the government can tell them, the best thing to do. But they're not going to line up.
No, only weak punk-ass Democrats will continue to do that. Only the last of the loyal blue, no matter who, morons will still do that, but no normal people.
So
I don't believe it.
So before COVID, Fauci believed in natural immunity and said if you got the flu, you didn't need a flu shot. Remember?
But she's had the flu for 14 days. Should she get a flu shot?
Well, no. If she got the flu for 14 days, she's as protected as anybody can be because the best vaccination is to get infected yourself.
And
so
she should not get it?
If she really has the flu, she definitely doesn't need a flu vaccine. If she really has the flu,
she should not get it again.
No, she doesn't need it because it's the most potent vaccination is getting infected yourself.
And then that all switched during COVID. That all switched. And now this is what he says.
And what about for folks who have had a cold, possibly a bad cold early in the season, and they think they've gotten the flu and now they have an immunity because they've had the flu and so they don't need the flu vaccine?
Well, there's two components to the answer. One, they may not have gotten influenza. They may have gotten any of a number of the circulating upper respiratory viruses. Coronavirus, adenovirus, parainfluenza. They think it's flu and it's not. You will likely never know. Therefore, you should get the flu vaccine.
So now he has a totally different answer. He has a totally different answer now. Isn't that wild? It's a totally different answer. So I could do this all day. I don't have time, but I could do this all day. And the people who repeated every stupid thing he said, every lie he said during COVID, they'll never feel stupid. They just memory hole it and they move on. They put on another mask and they move on.
And those people are never going to say, look at Fauci and his grift.
Never. They're never going to say that.
No, they'll say it to you, though.
But they'll say it about me. Jimmy
doesn't believe what he's saying. Jimmy actually secretly thinks Fauci's great.
That's what a grift would be. If I didn't believe what I was saying. I believe.
Is it true you bought a house with your earnings from your show? Grift.
Grift. Is it true that you worked really hard and built something?
I I mean, your returns are quite modest for what you could have gotten if you were doing a grift. If you were doing a grift, you could be living high off the hog. And by hog, I mean Cenk Uygur.
Hey, some companies stand for diversity quotas and corporate ESG scores. 1775 Coffee stands for bold flavor, real quality, and calling BS when they see it. If your morning fuel should actually taste like coffee and not corporate nonsense, you're in the right place. Forget stale, mass-produced pods roasted just enough to hide their mold. Dark roast hits like a Trump tariff. The medium roast packs bold flavor without the bitterness, and Vitality Mushroom Blend fuels the fight with lion's mane, cordyceps, and reishi. That's all. That's in that coffee? Wow. Real energy, no synthetic garbage. I take lion's mane. Weak coffee is for the weak. And at Rumble, weak has never been part of the mission. No fillers, no frauds, and proudly backed by a platform that doesn't cut corners, water things down, or settle for mediocrity. For pods, whole bean, or ground coffee, head to 1775coffee.com. Use code DORE, that's D-O-R-E, for 15% off. And start your morning with coffee that stands for something. Come see us on tour in Dallas, Austin, Baltimore, Hartford, Connecticut, Syracuse, New York, Atlantic City, Levittown, Cohost, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for the link for the cheapest tickets.